What's going on, YouTubulous? Baker Man coming at you today with a little bit of a debate on Milspec versus Milspec.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Okay, so let me start off by saying I apologize for the audio quality of this video and my last video, the free ammo giveaway. Go check it out. Free plug. If you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, that kind of thing, you would know that my last outing that I had, I was trying to make a video. Long story short, my main camera with the good audio, the mic, and all that stuff fell over. Camera came out, slid across the deck, fell into the Atlantic Ocean. So there's no getting that back. So, Milspec versus Milspec. What do I mean by this? Today, I was cruising around on YouTube, looking for an idea to make a video on because all the video ideas have been taken. And lo and behold, it showed up in my recommended video section. I saw a video by Reload Hawaii, and I've never even seen this channel that I'm aware of before. And it was titled, Stop Overpaying for AR-15 Lowers. Milspec is Milspec. Got the wheels turning. In that video, he did a blind test between 3 different brand name lowers. And they were all within tolerances, the same exact thing. He had the brand names taped up and any identifying marks, weighed them. And this is a polymer lower. Well, it's actually a hybrid. But it's the only one I've got that's not being used right now for reference. But he weighed it. He took a micrometer and measured the distance here where the trigger group grows, the magazine well, measured a few of these pinholes, and the 3 lowers he had, all of them were within like 0.001 inches of each other. So, you know, what's the difference? The difference was the roll marks on the side. Surprise, surprise, one of them was a $50 lower, which was an Anderson. Another was a $150 lower, which was the Jolly Roger Spikes. And another one was a $300 lower, which was a Noveske. Disclaimer, I may be a little bit off on the prices there, but you get the idea. So other than price and the name brand on the side, what's the difference? Why pay $300 for the same thing you can get for $50? Why pay $150 when you can get it for $50? Oh, truck's going by. Is that a plane? Well, I'm here to answer that question. It's called quality control. There's no argument for quality control. And this is not to talk down on a particular company, because there are a lot of companies that do good quality control but still have lower prices, such as Palmetto State Armory or Anderson or VCM. And VCM's kind of a mid-range anyway. They're kind of like Spikes. But point being, the difference you're paying for is the salary that these companies have to pay people to go, a lot of 10,000 forged lowers comes out, and they're taking 10 out of that 10,000 and making sure that those 10 are the right measurements, are the right hardness. They don't break. They don't, they don't bend, that kind of stuff. And whenever those, and of course these numbers are just me throwing out there, but whenever those 10 hold up the quality standards, they say, okay, this whole batch is good to go. But whenever they have 2 or 3 out of that 10, or even more, that don't hold up the way they're supposed to be, they say, oh, no, this batch is wrong. Let's melt them down and restart. It could be anything from a broken mold. It could be the metal that they got from the manufacturer that rolls out the metal. Could have done something wrong. It's not the right hardness. It could be anything. And while this isn't very, very prominent in the AR community, it is extremely obvious in the AK community. And I like AKs as far as looks better than AR-15, but my personal opinion is I've invested more in ARs because of the modularity. Point being that I'm making is, if you go off and buy a Century Arms, Red Army Standard, Interordnance, whatever, and it blows up in your face, what's all the AK forums going to tell you? Stupid trucking here. I can tell you what they're going to tell you. Ha ha, you brought the wrong brand name. You shouldn't have bought that. Those are crappy. You know why? It's because the company takes shortcuts on their quality control to assure you that that AK-47 is $600 versus $800 or $900. You know, I've never built an AK from scratch, but I would assume that if someone was experienced in metalworking, bending a piece of metal is bending a piece of metal. You're bending it on the lines where it says to do it. And so therefore I would assume if you're knowledgeable in metalworking, that building a trash can, an AK-47 isn't hard. With that being said, how do Century Arms screw it up so much? Because of their quality control. Whenever they have problems in the manufacturing process, they don't have people there to find those problems. So all these rifles go out to the public, and they end up on YouTube as budget builds that blow up in somebody's face and give them expensive acne for the rest of their life because all this metal's embedded in their face. Does that happen as much in the AR community? No. Not that I'm aware of. But it can. And you do see ARs that tend to break along this axis right here at the takedown pin, etc. But that's something else. I'm just giving an example of quality control. And the AKs generally have a lot of problems in head spacing, metal hardness. Those are the two biggest complaints you see on AK forums. All of those things are problems that could be solved with good quality control. But they choose to save $200 on a rifle and not hire anybody for quality control, and they just turn up these crap guns. A good example that I personally am aware of in the AR community is Palmetto State Armory. And I'm not talking trash on any of these brand names. I have Palmetto State Armory, everything. But a friend of mine that is a co-worker actually that's currently in the middle of the build is having issues because he's building a rifle and he ordered a lower and a separate upper. Well, whenever he got these two parts, the lower takedown and pivot pin, they were in spec, but to one extreme, all the way one direction. But when he ordered the upper, it was also in spec, but it was all the way to the other extreme. So whenever he closes his rifle, the upper is completely to the other side of the lower. And even though it's just micrometers, it's enough that that takedown pin doesn't want to go in. And he's currently had this rifle for approximately a year, and he still hasn't got Palmetto State Armory to exchange it. Now, granted, he could have just bought another upper or another lower and finished it, but he's got rifles, that's not the point. But they won't exchange it because both parts are still in spec. Even though he's taken it to them and showed it to them, and etc., they still refuse to exchange it. That is something I'd like to say would have been caught in quality control. It's probably not, but it's just an example that I feel kind of portrays the possible problems. As you can see with my rifle, this is not a beauty queen. This is strictly something that I built just to throw around. It's got an Anderson lower. The upper is actually Palmetto State Armory. It was the $249 for the built up, completed upper. You see the bolt carrier group, etc. I mean, come on, dude. It's got eBay aluminum flip-up sights and NC Star 4X optic because I didn't feel like spending $1,500 on a Trigicon. And eBay grip and all this other bull crap, an old stock that I had for another rifle that I didn't like it on it, and tried painting it, didn't work out. You know, it's just something I got to take on camping trips, to ride on the four-wheeler, throw in the back of the truck, that kind of thing. So I'm not downing any company by putting out this video. But the problem I want to point out is, yes, Milspec is Milspec. But always realize that you get what you pay for. If you spent $50 on your lower and it's Milspec, is it just as good as a $300 one? Overall, yes, but you have run into problems with that particular, the exact one you have. Like I said, the probability is there of more issues arising that weren't caught on the top end. Me personally, you can buy 3 lowers of Anderson for the price you can buy one of Spike's, and even if you have one problem with one of them, you've still got 2 left that are just as good as the one you would have got with Spike. It's a win-win, lose-lose situation. It's all up to you. But all I'm saying is don't go and purchase an Anderson lower and then fuss and complain whenever your trigger pins are loose or your pivot pin doesn't take down right. Quit complaining and go buy another one. And you still have less money in it than what you would have spent on that Spikes. By that point, you bought one lower, it was broken, bought another one, and you're still $50 cheaper than what you would have bought that Spike. That $50 you saved, is that worth the headache you had to go through to either go purchase another lower or call up Anderson and say, hey, this one's incorrect, send me another one? That's up to you to make that decision. Me, if I save $50, that's $50 I can throw to a better barrel or a better trigger. I mean, after all, everybody wants to complain about how this rifle sucks, it's inaccurate. Whenever, at least with an AR, we all know there's 3 components that make your rifle accurate. That would be the trigger, the barrel, and the optic that you have. That's it. Everything else could literally be eBay, and it would shoot just as good as a $3,000 rifle. I promise. So Milspec is Milspec? Yes. They just save money and translate it to the consumer at the cost of quality control. Is that liability that you take up worth the money you save? That's for you to decide. Me, I always say yes, especially if the price is right. So let me know what your thoughts are on this. Also, I have a ammo giveaway. It's ammosubscription.com. They basically, for $15 a month, you can get 50 rounds of AR-15 ammo, 308, 223. Heck, they even have pistol calibers. It's veteran-owned. And, yes, a little bit more for reloads than what you would pay for a box of whatever your ammunition is that you choose. But you're supporting a veteran-owned company, and, you know, booyah, America. But if you go to that previous video, like, subscribe, and share, you're automatically entered into a chance to win. Whenever that video gets to 100 likes and 100 shares, then I'll do a 3-month giveaway. It's real simple. So that's 150 rounds of ammo for you for clicking a button. Also, make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Anyways, I hope you guys take care. Let me know what your thoughts are on this issue. And take care. Have fun. Go out and shoot some. Live life to the fullest. Peace out.